I understand that the next report that we're interested in is the Education and Science review of the Tertiary Education Commission. Colin King.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It's a pleasure to talk about the achievements of the government and TEC at this particular time. Just for those that are listening, I mean, we talk about Tertiary Education Commission that fundamentally provide the stakeholder funds to the universities, the Wainangas, the PTEs, the private training establishments, the industry training organisations and the polytechs. And it's been very important to appreciate that on coming into government, that was an area that was grossly over supported without the products and results coming out. So the government is to be commended for the wonderful job that it has done in focusing especially the training providers into being accountable back to the taxpayer for the dollars that are invested in there, the better part of $2 billion. And that has been the work of the government and the Minister in focusing those particular providers on the job at hand. It's very important that the taxpayer dollars are spent wisely, that the intention of the tertiary education strategy is implemented, and we certainly see that over the last two budgets that has certainly been the case. Further improvement. It cast my mind back. I heard a comment in one of the interviews that we had with the Minister with regards to how much more blood can you screw out of the stone. And I thought to myself, what a wonderful analogy. And that is the difference between the opposition and the government. The government on this side of the House has extracted better value for the taxpayer dollar out of the tertiary education sector. And it not only in one area, Mr. Chair, but across the whole gambit within the Tertiary Education Commission. It's also focused very much on what the government can do to pull levers to stimulate and attract people into those areas that are very important for the continual growth in science and innovation of our economy. And that is what it's been doing, in further investment in those STEM subjects, the sciences, the technologies, the engineering and the mathematics. So all those things are certainly opportunities that should not be missed. We've heard a lot of dialogue today about how we are potentially missing opportunities. I would put it to the House, and in actual fact, the missed opportunities all happened long before National took office in this National-led government. Innovations, we talked about Callaghan innovation, but one of the innovations that's happening inside the Tertiary Education Commission and funded by the government is the establishment of the ICT graduation schools. And these are going to be established in Auckland, Wellington and Christchurch, and they are really good, strong partnerships with business. These will create internships and research with high-tech firms. And it's certainly that indication that we are moving into that really connected environment, that digital environment, and as a country, it just underlines the principle that for us to maintain our standing in the OECD, as was referred to previously, is that every New Zealander needs the best possible education possible. And it is a very long continuum, but at the top end of it, the Tertiary Education Commission, it is being greatly improved, refined. The accuracy and the accountability has been improved. And we've only got to look at the industry training organisations where the Minister has focused in with legislation to add transparency and accountability and refinement so that we get better outcomes for those stakeholder tax-funded activities. But just to elaborate on to one particular area that the government will be incredibly satisfied with is the apprenticeship reboot situation. It has moved from a provider-based training situation which occurred immediately after the Christchurch earthquakes, where there were an amazing number of provision or opportunity for people to take up take up opportunities for training, whether it be at the CPIT or whether it be with the Southland Institute of Technology or whatever, all of those polytechs. Well, what we're seeing with the growth in the economy, with the growth in Auckland, with the growth in Christchurch and with the growth in the regions, is that we're now seeing a far greater uptake of employer-based training. So that's your genuine apprenticeship training model, and it's wonderful to see that we have increased that spending by $70 million, and this is all very good, and it shows that we've got a very appropriately balanced Tertiary Education Commission.
Kia ora, Mr. Chairman.
Tony Harawira.
The Education and Science Committee's report on the Tertiary Education Commission, TEC, made an important point about how TEC is having to cope with